Hi everyone, in this video I'll be walking you through the BoostEDU 4C self-assessment. The first page of the self-assessment is just simple background information, and all of this this information is simply for kind of like internal use to see where or who is taking self-assessments and where, and as well as if your school or site ends up purchasing like a large data report, then this information would also be used for that as well. So really the only main thing that is important for you on this page is your email address. If you want to fill in other information, you can do that as well. And all of that will be populated into your individual data report. But any of the information is simply just for internal use or for your school or site. And that's what this little box down here is for, is if it is applicable and your school or district has purchased a data report that is for the entire site or district, then you would use that ID number. Otherwise, you get your free data report just as usual. Now, part of the BoostEDU process is to reflect on your previous lessons. So that is what this next page is on. It's asking you to reflect on a lesson that you have taught or will be teaching. And then you select your content area. And then you are talking about kind of what are those goals that you had for students to learn. Like maybe students will learn how to add and subtract integers. And then what are those tasks that they are going to be doing or that they did do during that lesson? Students will watch it. And that could be just an example of, and there might be several things that you add within here, but the idea again is just to have you reflecting on that lesson that you have already done or will be doing before you assess it. Now the next thing that you will do is that you're going to choose which areas you want to assess. So you can choose all 4 or you can just choose a couple. And as you go through, it gives you several questions to help analyze where you are at in your classroom. And again, you're focusing on that specific lesson rather than your entire class, because that may change at times. So I'm honestly just going to kind of pick some random things right here and go next. Then you'll see that it populates to the next one that you chose. And then when you go to the next page, it will give you your detailed report, or kind of like those levels that you are at. And then a couple of these different graphics will show up as well. And if you were to click on it and open it, it will actually give you kind of the breakdown of the different levels of those C's as well, so you can see in that way. And that might be helpful for you as you're looking at why did I get this level, what am I aiming for in the future. And then after this, you go on, and now we're talking about redesigning our lesson. Okay. And as you start redesigning, you're going to pick one specific focus area. That way you're not aiming for too many things at once. And as you pick one focus area, you'll start to notice that the other focus areas kind of get boosted as well throughout that. So then maybe my goal is to get to level 3. And then from here, they ask you first, what is the purpose? So what are you having students do? Well, they're analyzing unfamiliar situations, and maybe they're going to demonstrate and interpret something. Okay. What are those techniques? Are they showing their learning in written or verbal ways? And the higher the level, the more things they're going to be asked to do. And then what parts of your lesson do you want to gather ideas? So maybe you're doing note-taking, and then maybe you just want some general ideas. So when you move on to this next page, this is where you actually get specific lesson ideas that you can choose. So maybe you're going to have students create visual notes, and then maybe based upon those notes, they're going to participate in a Socratic seminar. When you move on, based upon that, it gives you some tech tools to try. Doesn't mean you have to do them, but you could. And then when you hit next, that's it. That's the end of the survey, actually. So it's not very long. Then what you get is you will get an email that has your detailed report within it. So I'm going to give it a moment and see if mine pops up. So it's just taking a second just because there's so much to gather. But while we're waiting for that to show up, one other thing you guys could do is join our communities. We do have a Facebook group. And then we also have a Twitter page that you could follow as well. Might want to check. Oh, okay. So as you can see, mine ended up in spam. I'm working on that. So that is one of those next things that I am going to work on fixing, is having it come from a legit email address rather than just Survey Gizmo. So if you didn't get it, check your spam folder. But then you'll get this email result where it tells you the different levels. It will tell you the ideas that you chose, as well as your focus areas. And as you can see, this is just a snapshot. This doesn't have all of your information on here, but if you were to scroll down, you can see there's a PDF that is attached. But it also gives you the next steps. So view your entire data report, then start building your lesson, collaborate and get feedback, and then assess your new lesson. Now the main data report that has the PDF looks like this. It's basically all of the questions that you answered show up in here, as well as any graphics that you might have chosen. It's not super fancy. I'm aware of that. It's something that I'm working on right now. Survey Gizmo doesn't allow us the option to personalize this data report more than that, but all the essential information is here, and the email has prettier information if that's kind of what you're looking for. Anyways, that is the 4C self-assessment. I would love some feedback, so if you are interested in providing feedback, please follow that link within the blog post or at the end of your email.